Hey everybody, welcome in. Let's see as people come in here, Dan. Get the
Welcome in, guys.
all up. Let's see. Welcome. We will get started here in a couple minutes. If you guys have questions, put them in the chat. We're live on YouTube, live on Facebook right now. Any questions you guys have, please put them in your chat wherever you are watching from. If you guys don't mind putting in the chat where you guys are located, your whatever state you're located, whatever city, and also if you've done any land deals, would love to see the experience level of everyone we have in here, Dan.
Absolutely. And Ron, you can probably share your screen so you get that up. But yeah, throw where you guys are from, where you guys are tuning in from. You guys been in the land, you guys are new to land, been on our calls. We want to hear your experience. Throw it in there, guys.
Awesome.
MLM Bros already threw a deal in there. We'll get to that. Yeah, throw questions. All questions are good, guys. Throw any questions, deals you want us to review, all of that good stuff. We'd love to get to them. Welcome in, Jose. Welcome in, Jacob. MLM Bros. What's your name, MLM Bros? I remember you in here last time
Max.
as well.
That's
Oh,
Max.
that's Max? Okay. Yeah. Makes sense.
Right, Max? Am I wrong? I think
yeah, that's Max.
I'm not sure. Because he's overseas, actually. Where are you located, Max? You're in Europe somewhere, right?
Are you? Cincy. Chris Palermo. Nice. Another
All
Cincy
right.
boy. Oh,
you guys should be able to see my screen here now. Like you guys can see on here, put in the chat where you're located. Have you done any land deals yet? Would love to know. We'll get everything up. Some really good questions coming in here, Dan. I'm just going to give it a couple minutes.
Yeah, there's a lot of deals coming in, guys. If you have questions too about the business, why the business works, any questions about how it works, anything, basic level 1 stuff to anywhere up to expert level 10 stuff, throw it in here. We'd love them all.
Absolutely.
Excited to have you guys up here. We got some New York, upstate New York, Mobile, Alabama. We got an Italian in here, Max. Very cool. We got all kinds of people in here, guys. Excited to get into it.
All right, let's get started here, Dan. As you guys can see here, every couple of weeks we do these live on YouTube, Facebook, everything like that. I'm really happy to have everyone here. Please put in the chat where you guys are located. If you've done any land deals, all questions are great. Use the Q&A field, use the chat to ask any questions. If you guys are sending in a deal review is APN, county, state, purchase price, any other information on the property. 1 deal per person at this time. We do have 45 minutes for this call, so we have a little more time. But Dan, you kind of want to give everyone a rundown a little bit of what we kind of do before we get into the questions?
Yeah, keep it real estate. Just asked, how it works a bit, basic level here. So you want to understand the basics. So if you guys are experts here, just tune in with me. You guys already know this stuff. But for the beginners, we buy and sell land for profit, right? So we're buying land under market value. We're acquiring it through blind offers, traditionally blind offers. So we're sending, let's say we send Max an offer for his 5 acres in Hamilton County, Ohio. We'd send out this letter to Max. He owns 5 acres. You'd get a letter that says, hey, Max, I want to buy your 5 acres in Hamilton County, Ohio for $55,000. Usually we price those around 40 to 50% of what it's worth. So that's called a blind offer. So we send out a mass volume of those, get them back. They sign it. There's a spot for them to sign, negotiate. They call in, all that type of stuff. And then we acquire under market value. Right when we buy it, we list it with drone photos. We're a marketing team, right? So we got to figure out how to get under market value land and then list it for more money. And we do that through the MLS using realtors on the back end, things like that. So that's all we're doing. Like this business is all about buying land under market value, getting land under market value, and then we put it on the market and resell it. And that's what land flipping really is, Ron.
Yep. So that's definitely, we do have a Cincinnati person in here. It's definitely the base level. Really good job of that. I was wondering what app you guys use for bulk SMS. We use Launch Control. Launch Control is what we have seen too. And we are really big in a combination of SMS and direct mail. To be clear with you guys, you can get deals by doing either one individually. A combination of the two is very, very powerful to get a lot of deals. We use Launch Control. It is very, it's a legal team that runs it. It's lawyers, from what I understand. It's old lawyers who are making sure that everything is run legally, because there are a lot of people looking to sue people sending text messages.
Litigators, yeah.
There's a ton out there looking. So if you, it's the best one that I've seen.
It's just constantly changing, and they're on top of it. Someone's bottleneck that I had a call with earlier today, Ron, was them always having to change their business because of legal compliance. I told them just to use Launch Control. It's a little bit more money up front, but they keep you out of all that stuff. They literally won't let you send messages over a certain size in certain areas and all this different legality stuff that they get into. Yep. They're not 100. They won't say they're 100% legal to protect themselves, I'm sure, but they do a very, very good job of protecting you.
Yep. And Jose kind of asked, I'll put this one on the screen so you guys can see it. Jose asked, do you guys invest, or do you guys have the investor ready to purchase or find the seller first? So what we do, Jose, and what we teach is buying the property. We're not wholesaling the property. We're not finding a buyer. Our biggest sales point with these sellers and why we get deals at 40, 50% of what they're worth is we have money ready for them in 2 weeks. And the great thing about our community is there are a ton of deal funders who will put money into your deals, partner with you on your deals. So we're actually buying the properties through title, and then we're posting on the MLS, we're posting on land.com, we're posting on different websites to sell after.
Yeah, exactly. It makes a lot of sense. And then following up on that, they asked about Marvin asked about what about Smarter Contact. Smarter Contact, there's a ton of SMS companies out there that would do that and service that. I'm not familiar with all of them. Smarter Contact, I've never heard of. I just Googled them. They go by off compliance. I'm sure they're good. Or I'm not sure they're good. I mean, it says that that's their niche is kind of being legal compliant. So I'd feel pretty safe with someone like that. A lot of these companies don't do any of legal compliance. A lot of these SMS messaging companies do very little to none to protect you. And that's why companies like that can be so valuable.
Yeah. Really good. All right. We're going to go over a couple deals. Please keep putting your questions in there. Daniel and I are constantly kind of looking through the chat to see if we have any good questions to go over. We're going to start here in Decatur County, Georgia. And it looks like we have about 10 acres for $32,000. This is actually a member who sent in this deal, and they are looking to get a price opinion. They're under contract to buy for 32. They think they can sell it for about $70,000. So let's see what we have here. Again, we're going to go to Decatur County, Georgia. Nice. And this is MapRight. This is ID.land that I'm using. We do have a recent YouTube video like going over the specifics of how to use this software. It's about $100 a month to get all of it included, but they do have lower packages as well. But let me get this in here, Dan, so we can pull this up.
For sure. And if you guys have questions, throw the questions in here where Ron's putting it. While we're pulling up all your guys' deals, going through them, that's what we spend this next 30 minutes doing, going through deals, asking your questions. So whatever it is, throw it in there, and I'll get to them in between deals, all the questions that aren't deals. So throw anything you guys have in here. We'd be happy to go over it. Got a Clearwater person in here. Perfect.
Let me make sure this is working. Hold on, because I think I put this in here correctly. Give me a second, guys.
Technical difficulties.
Another deal. If not, if you have a question, Dan, pull up a question real fast while I get this up.
What was the name of the website again for text messaging, RB? Go to our website. So it's landinvestingonline.com/launch control. And that's LAUNCH control. Launch control. Landinvestingonline.com/launch control. That'll pull you up with all the plans and pricing, things like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up a different deal, Dan. If you, that was a member, like I said, if you want to get me something's not working, if you want to give me the name or something like that, we can do that. But that one is not pulling up. I'm gonna go to this deal in Tennessee. We're going to Coffee County, Tennessee. Hopefully this one works. Cool. So what I'm doing, I'm searching in Land ID. I'm searching the county, and then I'm gonna put in the APN, and that is 048. A-034.
Garnett asked, really good question. So what's the angle on land with no sewer or septic? I have a seller with a lot of land outside Louisville, Kentucky in southern Indiana. Got it. So, but no utilities are on the property. So that's normal. That's okay. You can put that stuff on later. You can put a septic tank. You can put a well. You can get all that. We're talking acres here. We're talking raw land, multiple acres. That's completely normal to not have utilities. Probably 90% of the properties that we buy and sell do not have utilities on them. There's few that do because they had an old structure or mobile home or whatever it is on there. Don't worry about that. Just focus on getting land under market value that's raw, no utilities at all. There's a big, big, big market for that you have to understand.
Software you just mentioned to find land. The software I'm using to look at land is ID.land. So this is 1.9 acres, Dan, in Coffee County, Tennessee. It looks like this member is under contract for $13,000. They're trying to figure out the resale value. They're thinking 35 to 40, which would be amazing. Let's see if the land checks out. So again, I'm going to go through some filters. So I got the boundaries on here, and I'm just going to pull up some filters. So first, contour lines. That is going to give me slope. There's little to no slope on this property. Floodplain, see if it's in a floodplain. Wetlands to see if it's got any wetlands. So you do see some wetlands over here. I'm not really concerned here. The cool thing about this neighborhood, Dan, is, I mean, it's just, someone's going to slap a mobile home on here, right?
Yeah, this is, I mean, when you see lots like this, you have two lots, essentially, maybe four. You have
Yep.
4 lots. Yeah, so you're gonna have 4 lots here. If you click in there, I don't know if the legal description will tell, but you see how this is. You either have 2 or 4 lots, I bet, on this one, Ron.
Yeah.
But
See, 13 and 14. So yeah, it is already 2 lots. So
it's
you could
split, so
sell
you
these
can sell this
separately.
as 2 for sure, and you
You
can
do
get some
want to
option.
You do want to get eyes on this. Definitely get eyes on this. Get drone out there, get a realtor out there before you buy it, because it doesn't look like the cleanest land. Make sure this isn't the worst thing. With this being this small of a parcel, having some stuff on here, it's not going to cost too much for the end buyer to clean it up. A lot of people would kind of be turned off by all this stuff, these old mobile homes around. This is not necessarily a plus, but this means it's going to be a very unrestrictive neighborhood. And there are so many people looking for land. This is close to Nashville, I believe, Dan. Let's see
Yeah.
where this is. And we'll get to the pricing points. So Manchester's right there, which is a growing city in Tennessee, I believe. And okay, so we're farther from Nashville. So I'm going to hit county lines.
You guys want, when you guys are looking at your land like this too, you guys, the lower the restrictions, the better, because there's a bigger buyer pool. Like there is a massive market in a lot of these areas, like Tennessee, for people to just go and put a mobile home or put a house, whatever they want. They can do whatever they want. There's not a bunch of city restrictions, not a bunch of zoning restrictions. People like to do whatever they want on their land, especially in rural America. So seeing land like this, 90% of the 80 to 90% of the properties in that subdivision in that neighborhood, Ron, had a structure on it.
Yep.
Ours is one of the only ones without a structure on it, which is a very, very good sign. It shows the desirability of that neighborhood, Ron. I really like the first sight of this.
Yeah, I love this land. I love the location. I think it's really solid. We just got to see if the price makes sense. We're up here somewhere. So looking here, I like to get really specific with location. We need to zoom out to get more comps. That's fine. But we're right up here off Highway 55. So we're pretty darn close to this on my map on Zillow. So I want to find like kind comps that are really close. And a couple that caught my eye, that one, I don't think this is going to be a great comp for us. Looking into this, I don't know. That just seems off in terms of every other comp. So I see 1.97 for 45. I see 1.6 for 40. I mean, they said 35 to 40 for a sale price, Dan. Looking at all the comps, let's see what we're competing with on the market. So yeah, you're competing with 1 for 150,000 right by us and 4 for 70 right by us. I don't know what this is going to sell for. I would post this up high though. I think you're going to have a ton of interest. I would post this up. I would probably post this up at like 44.9, honestly, Daniel. I think this might be a buy for 15 after closing costs and sell for 45.
So what are we in, 13.5?
Yeah, the 13,000 going to be in 14.5 after closing costs. So yeah, I would post this up at minimum 39.9. I would probably do 44.9, and I think this is going to sell fast.
Buy for 15. Yeah, I'd like that. These type of properties are home runs in general. There's such low risk. There's going to be good buyers for this. And at that price point too, you're going to get blown up if you price this competitively. You're not going to be competing with anything on the market essentially.
Amazing deal. Really good first deal, guys.
Love that.
Let's go.
All right, we got some questions while you pull another deal up, Ron. All right, so let's see. Keep It Real said, oh, this is a good question. What about conservation easements on rural land? Do you care about those restrictions? Definitely care about them, Ron. Let's talk about conservation easements. And it also depends on state. Different states have different guidelines with conservation's at a state level, correct, Ron?
Yep. Yeah, state, county can be different. And there's different restrictions with them or stuff like that. So you just got to, it's really hard to overall just say like, yes, you need to be aware of them. You need to do your due diligence. And if it's going to change the use of your land drastically, that is going to really affect your sale price or the sellability of the land in general. So really more so understanding that part of it, just like when we get mobile or lots that are restricted, like there are always things to kind of take account on. So just understanding what it means, I think.
Yeah. And then Marvin asked, what's the farthest back in time you'll go to sold comps? So Marvin, that really depends on how many comps that we have. It's a really good question, but we'll go really far back if we don't have any. Obviously the best comps are you want the similar properties to yours. So similar size, similar location, right? And similar acreage, all that stuff. And if there's nothing of that, we'll zoom out a little bit. By one location, we'll zoom out a little bit, and then onto the time of comps. Obviously, you want the most amount. If there's 3 sold comps in the last 6 months, all around 5 acres, and I had a 5-acre property, and they're very close to mine, that's all I need to make a decision. But a lot of times we obviously don't have that, so you need to zoom out a little bit, check different acreages, see what 10 acres is selling for, see what 2 acres, and try to piece it together. So we'll go far back when we need to.
Absolutely. So you guys can see this popping up on the screen here. We have 9 acres in Caldwell County, North Carolina, and it looks like we're under contract for 46,489. Any other comments on there? I don't see anything else. 9.01. Let's get this up, see what we got here. So this is split by the road. Little weird. This might be able to be sold separately, Dan, the way this looks, with this being split like this. You might be able to sell this separately because this is, let me make sure there's no water or something over here. Not a ton of land over here, though. 2.4 and then 5.5.
It's just not a desirable piece on the other side. So, I mean, you could put
the buildable spot, though. I kind of like that.
There is. That southern part is. Yeah, I mean, it's a buildable.
This is an acre,
spot.
probably. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate that, honestly. You're going to probably have some big slope here, I'd imagine. Yeah.
That's going to be something going through the middle there. Just dip down right there.
Yeah, we're going to have something going on here, I believe. Okay. So that makes that parcel kind of useless. So, yeah, you can't sell that.
That's a FEMA floodplain that Ron's looking at. So that blue outline's the FEMA zone.
You can see a creek running right through here. A creek's going to be right through here. Water features. Yeah, this is a legitimate creek running right behind our property. This is not going to be a buildable lot over here. And then our land over here is just not good land in terms of the slope. When we look at slope, guys, the important thing with slope is looking at slope relative to everything around it that is built on. Yeah. This right here, these lines, Dan, this is only 10-foot lines, but this is going to be extremely sloped on all this road frontage. You can see the other properties that are built on, our lines are a lot more spread out, which means a lot less slope, a lot more spread out here, more spread out here, which is where they popped a house. This is sloped around here and here, but this main area where they put a house is not nearly as sloped. And I don't see anything in the near vicinity that is built on with relative slope. I have a hard time seeing this deal happening, honestly. I'm going to look at the prices in the county real fast, but I don't think the price is going to work out with let me make sure it's not really close to Charlotte or something. See where it is in the county. We're going to be in the more sloped area, which I'm guessing is going to be that northern part of the county. Oh, no. Yeah, we are up north in the county. So you guys can see here's the county, this little, outside of Caldwell, and we're up in the north east. We're up here somewhere. I don't think we're going to have any comps that rationalize this pricing, Dan, unfortunately. Let's see, though. It's just rec land at that point, Dan? Like,
yeah,
it's not cheap.
Well,
this land is not cheap up here. But that being said, like, this is much more desirable land. This is flat land. I just don't think without having any flat spots.
Yeah, but you're paying 46 grand for 5 acres. This isn't going to work. Exactly.
I agree. This is probably kind of your price range, I would imagine. You're going to have to split that more than in half. I think like $15,000 is the buy price. I think you will probably have some buyers, but it's still a risky deal with that slope.
Yeah, the slope's what's going to do it. And then also the half the land's kind of wasted in that flood zone. Not half the land, but a couple acres.
Welcome, Thomas. That was just the offer price generated from estimates. Is that from priced? Or is that, have you talked to that? Do you have a signed contract?
That's a lot for 5 acres in this area. I know this area.
What about floodways? 62 acres of ag land. Let me put this comment on here, this question on here. What about floodways? 62 acres of ag land outside of major Midwest metro, currently leased but has a floodway. Had a broker looking for acreage in the same county but didn't pursue. I mean, it all comes down to price. With everything, there is a buyer for every piece of land in this country. It all comes down to price. So is floodplain going to affect the sell price if it's 100% in floodplain? Absolutely.
Is that what he means? Floodway or flood zone? Because floodway is where isn't a floodway where they build down to collect water essentially. So they put that on the land.
It just matters how much of the land is affected by it. So without kind of looking at the land in particular, I don't know, but if you're looking as a long-term investment, if it's being leased, like that's how you want to evaluate, like you're evaluating a rental property, and you're also going to have appreciation as well. But you want to make sure you buy it for the right price, because at some point that lease is going to go up and you're going to either have to sell the land. So it just matters how you're looking at the land.
Exactly.
Or the deal for yourself and your situation.
Exactly.
All right. Cool. Get your question in there. Is it preferable to look for land within our own state? I get this question a lot in our consultations, Dan, and I'm kind of the opposite. I think the beauty about this business is you can do it from anywhere. So learning how to do it from anywhere, not wanting to go to a property. If you're in Ohio like I am, and I buy a property in, I don't know, Southern California, I have no interest in going to see that. Obviously, if I buy a property in Northern Kentucky, I'm like, okay, maybe I'll go drive, see this property because I can, but you want to learn how to do this business remotely. And I think there's a lot of value in that from the start.
Yeah. And I mean, is it preferable? It depends where you are too. There's some, like, if you're in Southern Florida, I wouldn't look in Southern Florida. You can always start, like we did a lot in Ohio when we lived there at first, Ron. We don't anymore, but it was just kind of a starting ground. You can look around. I think it's good to look around the counties. Like, we have a county evaluation process that we do. And I think it's really good to look at there as well as other spots and kind of compare eye to eye.
Absolutely. I got another question up there, Dan. I'm from Stanley, New Mexico. I currently have 14 properties with one sold last week under contract. Oh, awesome. That wasn't a question. I'm sorry. That was a question.
Good comment, though. I like to see that. Very cool.
No, that's awesome. That's I'm glad I put that up there. Let me look if we have any more deals in here. College Station, just been flipping my own deals, looking to invest in your educational program. Awesome, Michael. Yeah, subdividing lots in half later this year. Awesome. Yeah, subdividing is a great little niche within that. And for you, those of you who don't know, subdividing is taking a 50-acre plot, taking a 100-acre plot, and splitting it into smaller pieces of land. So 5-acre plots, 10-acre plots, and we do a ton of that. A lot of money in that.
Absolutely.
All right, get your questions in here, guys. Hi, L. Parker. Welcome.
Marvin also asked, I'm curious why the main focus on large acreage over quarter acre, half acre lots. I target mostly under an acre in Florida. That's why I ask. Yeah, I mean, subdivisions like that, infill lots is what they're called, is it's kind of a different business model. You're probably wholesaling them to builders. I just like bigger acreage. There's less risk. We're actually buying them. I like bigger dollars. We're doing lots and lots of 6-figure deals now. You can just scale. There's not a lot of competition in rural America. It's fairly easy and not competitive. It's fairly easy to get deals under contract, I think, just because the lack of competition and the lack of realtors presence and just the advantages of owning multiple acres rather than half acre and all that. Plus, when the economy goes down like it is now, it gets harder and harder to sell infill lots to builders because people are not building. Building is down right now. Interest has risen, which really dried up a lot of the infill market in general. It's definitely a business model. It still works. You can definitely do it. But there's just a lot of land in rural America, a lot of big acre lots. Yeah. And it just works really, really well. It's more profitable from our experience by far.
The ceiling with a deal is lower with smaller, with info lots, in my opinion. The ceiling is definitely lower, like not in my, it just is with info lots. And also there's more risk with perk tests, with other things. The entry point, Dan, might be a little cheaper. You might be able to get more.
It's lower risk, lower. I think it's lower risk, lower value, and lower dollars. Ultimately, it's a good starting point if you don't have much, I think. But the real money is at the top with these big acreages. You can subdivide them up. You can do a lot of improvements. You can just buy for. I mean, we bought a deal this week through Mike, 135 grand that he's posting for 440 or 440,000. Like, those deals come all the time, and they're, we're actually buying it in our own name with deal funding money, which we can go into, Ron. But we're buying this land in our own name. So we're listing it on the market to sell to the public at pretty much 100% of market value. Yep. So on the buy side, we're focused on getting them their money quick, closing, doing all that stuff. We get financing in the group, all that stuff. We can talk about that. It's called deal funding, but we're focused on that acquisition. Then we close it and then we put it on the market. We're not selling to builders for big acreages. We're not, well, we could be, but typically it's just someone who wants to own land. Someone in rural America will put on the MLS, will put it on the market, will market everywhere, and people come. The demand for big lots, big acreages is very heavy. And by lots, it's anything 2 acres and above, really, even an acre and a half. But we go all the way up to 100, 500,000 acres. It's like, it's the profit margins. It's so scalable.
Yep, absolutely. It's a different business model. That we have a lot of people come from info lots, and Matt P was, but those, like you said, those deals like buy for 135,000 and sell for 400 grand is very realistic. This is in a very rural area of the country, that he bought 65 acres for 135. And like I said, I think it'll sell between 400 and 425. Let me see. So how do you get a contract with builders and buy massive acres? We're not buying from builders and we're not selling to builders typically. Like I said, we're doing this in rural America. We do this about 2 hours outside of metro areas is our main area. And I saw you say something else, Anthony, about subdividing. We're not subdividing into 0.25 acre lots either. We're subdividing into, if we get 50 acres, we'll probably do 10 5-acre parcels if it works out that way. But we are listing everywhere. Like Dan said, we're listing on the MLS, we're listing on the market, and we are typically selling to our end buyers.
Exactly. Average close time on this, Ron. Marvin's been asking a lot of good questions in here. The first question you asked is prop stream good for big acreage data? Not really from our experience. You don't get latitude, longitude on it either. So you can't really pinpoint things and target the pricing with the blind offers. You can get some information if you're going to cold call or text. I'm sure you could do that. What acreage? And then he said, what average close time on the large acre deals? I mean, we get things under contract fairly quickly. Ron, what's our average now?
It varies. And can you hear me okay, Dan?
It's going in and out.
It varies. Like it does vary based on what your sale price is, the area, the demand. If you price things correctly, though, you're going to be under contract within 3 weeks with good buyers. We're not trying to sell things at the top of the market price. We're trying to sell things at, I don't know, 80, 90% of market price because we buy them so cheap. We have the ability to do that. So that is our goal with this, is selling maybe for 80, 90% of market value. And we get things under contract most times within about 3 weeks.
Exactly.
Some are shorter, some are obviously longer.
Yeah, and Nathaniel kind of followed up what sites are using to market without realtor. So we do have the option to market with a realtor. Since it's going in our own name, we can give it to the realtor. They can post it up. Like for this $440,000 one, we're probably going to end up using a realtor. The margins there, the land, they'll work hard for you for $440,000. They'll show buyers.
It's a lot of money for them.
Yeah, it's a lot of money for them. And we have obviously margin to work with it. We're buying for $135,000 and it's listed for mid fours. So the sites we're using without a realtor, flat rate broker, what broker lists, what are the other ones we use, Ron?
Homecoin is a really good one.
Yeah, it's really quiet, Ron. So work on that while I'm getting this answered. So Homecoin's a really good one. There's flat rate broker sites that you can use across the country and really do your research with that to see which ones and ask people in the Discord community if you're in there. Land.com is a really good one. Land.com has been really good. Also, don't underestimate Facebook Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace has done really, really, really well for us, mainly on the sub $100,000 deals, but it still does. We still list everything on Facebook Marketplace every single time.
Yep. All right. All good with the mic, Dan?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Let's get back to this. Aggressive pricing equals faster closing. You got that absolutely correctly, Jay. You don't want to be competing with everyone on the market. Very, very important. JPEX, I'll get to that deal in a minute. Let me put that on the screen so I can get that up here in a minute. I want to get to Josh's questions, actually. I saw Josh had a couple of really good questions. What are things not to do when getting started, Dan? You want to name off a few?
Don't go. My personal opinion is, and I know this might hurt some people's feelings in this group because they're going after info lots, but if you want to move fast and get big properties and big deals and big profits, I would avoid sub 1 acre properties. I would avoid info lots in general, and I would avoid metro areas. I would go an hour north of Atlanta, go an hour north of these major cities, Memphis, mid-major cities. That's what I would do, and I'd tack it hard, 2 acres to 50, because you will get deals. These people have never received mail before. You'll get deals. You'll buy it for 30, you'll sell it for 70 quick. The market's the market. It does very, very well in these rural places. That's my advice. Also, be very aggressive on mail. That's probably the number one thing.
Yeah, it's just, I think procrastinating on choosing areas is a very common thing with new people, Dan. But yeah, like you said, take your time doing this stuff, going through education, everything like that. I know you remember, Josh. Take your time doing all that stuff. At the end of the day, like taking action, getting the mail out the door is what's going to get you deals.
And Jay Pax said he's going to dinner later and he wants us to get that reviewed.
I'm doing it right now, Jay.
Perfect. Getting that up, Jay. He's a member, so he wants us to review it before. We have a member call at 7 for all you members in here. We're going to hop on at 7 o'clock to the member call and go over deals as well.
Yep.
What is the cost of data tree via your program? And is it 12-month? No, it's not a 12-month contract. It is currently 10 cents a record.
And no contract if you don't
use it.
No
contract. You don't use it. You don't use it. No monthly charge, nothing like that.
Okay, so we have, looks like we have 30 plus acres, 34 acres in Scott County, Virginia. You guys can see this at the bottom of your screen. What's the buy price? Would love opinion on price. Is this the buy price you're thinking? Is 70 to 75? You can keep an eye on that chat. How many mailers?
Yep, I'm looking.
But I'll go through so obviously we have pretty significant slope here, guys. This is not minor slope. These are going to be 20-foot lines. So for every one of these, there's 20 feet of slope down, 1,700 above sea level, 1680, 1660, and so on. This is going to be pretty extreme slope. Going to hit floodplain, going to see if there's a creek running through the middle. I expected kind of something like that because the slope kind of comes in there. It's probably not a real creek. Usually dotted lines are more just a little bit of water collecting down there, not a legitimate creek, but could be wrong, obviously. Wetlands, nothing. It just really comes down to slope and the price, honestly, Dan. Did he say anything about that in terms
Yeah,
of
it's resale 70.
Okay, resale 70. Do you have it under contract yet? All right. So we have good access. I think this access will be fine. Let me go look at a different map real fast just to see what that looks like. You might have to do some work here to get access back here. It's hard to tell with all the trees. No one else is going back here to use. So there's a chance that you're going to have to, or your end buyer will have to do some work a couple hundred feet, which isn't a huge deal, I don't think. I think it's all just going to come down to slope. And to give you guys a good visual on slope like this, I'll hit the 3. ID.land has a really cool 3D feature on here. As it loads up, tell me when you can see it, Dan.
We can see it.
So you guys can see like this is falling off the road everywhere.
That is crazy.
Like this
What
is
state is this?
This is Virginia. So there you can see like it's very sloped everywhere, really high up. But at the same time, like, is this just rec land? Is this like what is the use case for this? And that's what we need to kind of evaluate. So you guys can see the severity of that slope. Really cool feature that ID Land has. Let's see where we are in the county, and then we can get to pricing. Did he say anything about? Does he have an under contract in?
He said negotiating back and forth.
What are they wanting?
Can you remove the question on the screen they asked on, because it covers us?
Of course. Let me find it though. Hide message from screen. There you go.
Sweet.
Scott County, Virginia.
So these are some difficult, like these areas, depending on if you go to the mountain, there's pros and cons, but a lot of the areas when you're in places like this, Virginia, are going to be sloped, and some places are, extremely used to building on these type of pieces of land.
This is an interesting one. It has something on it though. Does it have a flat area here? This looked extremely sloped too. They found a way to put something on. It's sloping up, which I prefer. I really do not like sloping down properties. And that is what we have here. Let me obviously move up acreage. I'm going to go up to 100. I'm going to go 20 to 100 acres and see what comps we can find. First, I'm going to go to for sale. So we have where'd that go? That was a little closer. Okay. Okay. We have 42 for sale this is going to be really sloped as well, Dan. 42 for sale for $200,000. So we use this quite a bit. Looking down here, guys, 32 days. Actually, I don't know if they can see if I make sure they can see. 32 days, 236 views, 16 saves. This property is overpriced based on everything I know with Zillow saves, how this works. So this is probably $30,000 to $40,000 overpriced based on this, in my opinion. It just things that are going to sell in 32 days are going to have 48, 50 saves if it's going to sell for $200,000, or it would already be under contract. 68 acres for. This is bad land. 68 acres for 249. It looks like it has some water frontage though, a river frontage. Very weird land, kind of like we had the split land earlier. It looks like this is a railroad track, not a road. So I'm wondering how the access works with this piece. Odd piece of land right there, Dan.
Yeah.
I don't know. What are your thoughts? Like $70,000 doesn't seem crazy, but you're going to see some really cheap comps of probably really bad slope. I'm not sure which property exactly. This says number 42, so it is this property. I don't know. I don't believe that comp. I don't think 70,000 is crazy. It's really hard. Like, I don't know who your buyer is going to be. It's just very difficult with land that is this slope. Slope is a very difficult thing when it's just rec land at this point, right, Dan?
I think so, yeah. Maybe someone could put a structure on it in that area. I'm sure you could. It just depends how much someone's going to want to spend to do it, but it's very sloped. It's going to be good hunting land. What acreage was this again, Ron?
This is 34 acres.
34. Yeah, this is going to be good rec land for sure.
Andrew, please have more to reach out. Anthony, everything Andrew got was from our program. We have a lot of free resources on YouTube as well. That's why we do these calls, is to teach. Andrew, what does your first deal look like? Congrats. It's awesome. In terms of numbers. I know you haven't closed on the backside, sorry.
I feel like we reviewed those a couple weeks ago. I remember reviewing some of your deals, Andrew. What are those numbers looking like?
Yeah, I live here. Let me look through the questions, guys. Yeah, James, I'm kind of up in the air about that. I can't give you with that bad a slope. It's really hard for me to give you like a definitive like that's going to work. Marvin asked a really good question, a common question. How many mailers per deal for you guys? We see and we track these numbers very diligently. We have a full-time data analyst who does stuff specifically for this. He helps us target other spots, but his main thing is just like giving us data on what's working, not only for our business, our land flipping business, but to bring it to our community, to bring it to our members and kind of help you guys with like having data, written data on text messaging, how that's working. That's how we make decisions. But it's about 22 to 2,300 mailers. It's very consistent for a deal. Our average deal size is about $23,000 to $25,000 a profit. So whatever we're sending $1,000 worth of mail, give or take, and getting a $22,000 to $25,000 per profit deal.
Yeah, the numbers make a lot of sense. And then obviously that's before profit splits. And if you guys are deal funding, and that was a question that came up in there, Ron, is how are you guys buying these deals? Like if we have a 50,000, like if what's his name, who put that last deal in, Ron, wants to buy that for $50,000.
James, yeah.
If James wanted to buy that for, $40,000, let's say, James would go to a deal funder in the group. If you guys aren't familiar, that's someone who has usually they've been successful in land investing and it's a very lucrative business and they stacked up money and now they invest it into other people's land. So James would come to us, we deal fund or someone else, submit the deal, go back and forth and come up with an agreement. So we pay 100% of the deal funder will pay 100% of the cost to buy the property. And then James would put it up for sale, try to sell it. And then you come up with a profit split on the back end. And that's how you really scale. You can use other people's money. There's no underwriting. There's no banks. There's none of that like that stuff's hard to deal with, It's just based on the profit, which is the beautiful thing.
Yeah, and James, that's the thing with that kind of slope is you want to always confirm that in person. Like if I'm not saying for sure he's telling the truth or for sure he's lying. Sometimes sellers lie to make you feel like something's better. But if there's actually cabins on there, if there's an RV, it's 11 acres lower down. If there's actually, because another message said there's an RV, Dan, and they had a cabin on there that burned down. So getting a drone out there to confirm, getting a realtor out there to confirm is not a bad thing. What deal are you referring to, Alex? You said, is this a good deal for $55K? I'm looking to buy and flip. What deal are you referring to?
He's referring to the one we just reviewed, right?
Yeah. That's not a good buy and flip for $55,000.
You could buy and double close and wholesale if you wanted potentially and make a little bit, but that's not going to be a good deal to do that, in my opinion. You want to get that down to like $35,000.
And obviously, James is under contract to close that. Will this be saved? Yeah, this will be saved on YouTube, this call.
Yep, exactly. Thoughts for PPC for land? We haven't really experimented with that. I know you can do it. It probably works in some capacity. We don't have much data on that right now. Right now, what's working for us, what's worked best is direct mail and texting. But direct mail, specifically blind offers, has been like the best ROI on our time and our money. Like it's a lot of money to send out mail, 60 cents per record or whatever it is right now. But the return that we get on that has been incredible. And that's why we kind of stay with that.
Yep, absolutely. Relaxing Journey asks, where can I find information on your courses, what we offer? Landinvestingonline.com. I'll put in a link in here for you. And we can start talking about that a little bit, Dan, since we are getting kind of close to the end. Any other good questions? Let me look through here. If we missed a question, feel free to repost it at the bottom if we missed one of your questions and want us to get to it.
For sure. There's been a lot of good questions. If we missed it, I apologize. Throw it in the bottom. We'll try to get to it real quick.
I am land in the New Mexico desert. Let me read this. Most of the properties do not have water access. Do you guys have a solution for lenders for water well drilling? What are some suggestions?
Not in that area, we don't.
Don't have access. Yeah, we don't have any contacts like that there. Usually end buyers will deal with the well situation and figuring out water.
100%.
Yeah, that's what we usually have our buyers do. A lot of our properties don't have water access and they need
Which is fine. This is rural America. This is raw land. There's not improvements on most of this land we buy and sell, which is fine. It's not hard to get a well. It's not hard to get a septic system. That's what the end buyers typically do.
Marvin, do you use acquisitions manager and acquisitions? We have in-house people. We have a few in-house people for that who deal with that. And then we have people who do the selling on the back end.
We did it all. Until we hit about $2 million in net profit a year, we did all of it.
Yeah, it's possible to do that. That's the thing. If you're doing big enough deals, like it's only 40 deals a year to do $2 million. Like, it is very realistic with you and a partner. We have people who only do $150,000 profit deals, only do $100,000 profit deals. And that's what they're looking for. Like, we have people who are buying $500,000 properties and selling for $1 million. Yeah, there's more due diligence, but selling that land is no different than selling a $100,000 property. And that's going to make them $500,000.
If I wanted to go back to the roots, Ron, and this wouldn't happen because we're hiring and we're trying to scale up our company. But if I wanted to go back to the roots and it was just you and I doing this, and we're just blasting out mail, taking every call ourselves. We didn't even have an answer service till we hit probably $500,000 of profit. We were answering every phone inbound call, doing all of the work. You can hit with two people like this. You guys can hit $1.5 million in net profit with just two people through direct mail. Once you start texting and doing texting and all that stuff, and wholesaling, you're balancing more. It's more operations. Like wholesaling, you're trying to balance the buyer and the seller at the same time, and the title company. It's just a lot of work. How we do it's very, very scalable. You can do it with two people, 1.5. I guarantee it. We did like almost $1 million until we hired our first transaction coordinator.
Yeah, it's not an impossible thing. Like, and we still we still stay hands-on in the business because it's just, I enjoy flipping land. I enjoy doing this stuff in terms of project-based stuff with land. But like, if you want to get the $5-10 million of profit, you're going to need to outsource some things, and it becomes extremely scalable.
Do the math.
Big deals.
So
it's not that
if we're doing $30,000 average, which is it's going up there because we're doing a lot of six-figure deals now. Say we're doing $30,000 average of profit per deal. Actually, let's do $25,000 because that's what we told everyone. Although it's going up, we're doing $25,000. And you just divide that by $1 million, right? Divided by 25,000. How many deals is that, Ron? That's 40 deals divided by 12. Yep. Essentially, you need three to 4 deals a month. Do 4 deals a month, and that will cover all your mail and your cost outside of that 4 deals. So all your mail cost, everything will be, if you round that up to 4 deals a month, all you need to be over $1 million business.
Marvin said he's doing 75 to 100 deals. It's just about, you want to not increase the deal volume. You want to increase the deal size, Marvin. You can do $500 deal. I'm not saying what your size is. I have no clue. But you grow your business by increasing the size of the deals. People who are apartment investors, if that can relate more to some people, if they're investing in apartments and they buy duplexes, they don't buy more duplexes. They buy 100-unit place. And that is their long-term investment. You want to, if your average is $5,000 per deal of profit, you double your average profit and you double your profit for the year. Obviously, keep your deal volume the same. It's going to be the same amount of work. It's not more work. I'm telling you that.
Also,
go ahead.
Also, what people don't realize, and I told Mike this the other day on that $135,000. I said, Mike, what happens when you sell the 60 whatever acre property? How big is it? 60 acres?
64.
60, I said, what happens when you sell the 64-acre property that you just bought for $135,000 for $440,000, right? And he's going to make that money. I said, what you do now is you up your mail. You take that $135,000 price, put that to $220,000, and go after more properties for $220,000. Start banging out text, direct mail, whatever it is. You can, have the data now. There's no competition at the top. Is what I told him. There is not a lot of people sending $200,000 offers out there that is actually targeted pretty accurately, like aggressively priced. Because a lot of people might say $200,000, that's only 50%, Ron, of the deal. Why would anyone sell for that? Mm-hmm. $200,000, 50% of a piece of land, liquid, to get it off like that, no realtor fees, none of that bull crap, send it in title and get your money in 2 weeks is very powerful. That is a really good offer.
Yep. The guy Michael bought that property from bought it for like $60,000 a few years ago from a tax sale. Like he didn't buy this property for a lot. But let's talk about what we kind of offered, Dan, a little bit. Yeah, I'll let you take this away in terms of what we're offering for them today. If they aren't a member, I know we have a lot of members in here and we need to get to our members call. So we do members calls every Wednesday at 6 p.m. But you want to go ahead, Dan?
For sure. So guys, we have a program that teaches all of this. There's a lot of members in here. You guys saw some of their deals. Also, we have a members call over this going over. This is a 30-day land flipping launch. It's designed to get you guys a deal under contract in 30 days. That's what the program is. You get lifetime access to the whole course, everything you need from A to Z, the LIL bootcamp, the advanced modules, which is everything that the LIL bootcamp didn't have really, but more advanced, right? So things that we said, okay, maybe you don't need this to buy a property now, but it can really get you that next level. So we put everything advanced in that. We have webinars every week for members only. There's a texting course, all the accounts, all the templates. We're talking about blind offers, all the blind offer templates. We walk you through it step by step to get you guys a deal. We have a guarantee to get a deal in that 30 days if you follow the path. We believe in it. We know it works. That's how we're getting deals. We follow this method. So do our members. There's a lot of members in here successful. So if you guys are interested for today for the webinar round, what's the code?
It is webinar 30, right, Dan? You made that webinar 30% off. It'll be under $1,000. We never, ever, we really never sell this program because how much value for under $1,000. It's $995 through tonight. And I think we only have 5 available at that price. landinvestingonline.com/launch. And I had one more thing to say. Also, guys, a lot of you guys are on YouTube. Please do us a favor and just hit that subscribe button.
It's right down there.
It really helps. Yeah, that subscribe button. You guys are already on the channel. Please hit that subscribe button. We put out long videos about 3 times a week. We're trying to teach a lot of this stuff for free, but there's obviously a lot of value in having a course like this. But if you guys don't mind, hit the subscribe button. We have podcasts that come out twice a week. We have a long form video that comes out every Thursday or Friday. And we actually have a YouTube video coming out in about 1 hour.
Also, so the thing I didn't really mention that when we sent out surveys, we got the feedback on. One of the best things about this program is the ongoing education. We're adding advanced modules. We have 3 weekly calls a week. So we have a Monday call right after this for members only. We have a Wednesday call or a Monday call for a Q&A for members only. We have the Wednesday call right after this, and then we have a Friday call. It's continuous education. It's for people who want to hustle, for people who want to take their financial freedom to the next level. So if you guys are looking at, most of the people that join have 9-to-5s. You can do this alongside your 9-to-5. So if you guys are looking to get out of your 9-to-5, make more money, whatever, get a deal in 30 days, this is the program I think that fits you guys.
Yep. I'm messing around with this price thing. Sorry, guys. But other than that, guys, if you guys have any, if you guys need anything, if you're not in our Discord, landinvestingonline.com/Discord, we'll get you in our free Discord server. There's no charge on that. It's a free server with over 2,000 people. Again, please hit that subscribe button before you log off here. This video will be posted immediately for you guys to view if you want to review it. Other than that, guys, we will see you next Wednesday in our weekly call.
Really good call. Great questions, guys. Thank you so much for joining. We appreciate you guys.